The village of Kijiji Chabahari had never seen such a wedding. From dawn, the Indian Ocean breathed softly against the coral rocks, as if even the sea knew something sacred was about to happen. White canopies danced in the salty wind. Drums echoed through the narrow stone alleys. Women ululated, their voices rising like birds startled into flight. Zara bin Salim was getting married. She was called Binti Wabahari, daughter of the ocean, because she was born during a storm, when waves climbed the shore like angry spirits. Her mother had died that same night, and the old women said the sea took one life and returned another. Now Zora was 23, tall and soft-spoken, with eyes too deep for her age. She was marrying Jabari Mwinyi, the wealthiest spice trader on the coast. A good man, a respected man, a man who loved Zora in the careful, quiet way men who fear losing happiness love. The wedding was perfect. Henna painted Zora's hands in delicate spirals. Gold bangles kissed her wrist with every movement. Her white bridal kanga shimmered like moonlight on water. But there were signs. As the drums beat, Zora flinched. As the women sang blessings, her lips trembled. Her aunt leaned close and whispered, "Smile, child. A bride must not look like she is walking into a grave." Zara smiled, but her eyes searched the horizon, not the crowd. The sea. Just before sunset, an old woman appeared at the edge of the celebration. No one saw where she came from. Her back was bent like a question mark. Her hair was white as sea foam. She leaned on a stick carved with symbols no one used anymore. She stared only at Zora. When the old woman spoke, her voice cut through the music. A bride should never sleep on the shore when the moon is full. The drummers faltered. Zara's grandmother gasped, "Fatuma, you should not speak such words today." But the old woman's eyes did not move. "The sea remembers its own," she said, "and tonight, it will come to collect." Jabari stepped forward angrily. "Old mother, leave this place. You will not poison my home with madness." Fatuma smiled, a smile with no warmth. "I am not the one who made the promise," she said softly. Then she turned and walked away. Zara watched her go, her heart pounding like a drum beaten too hard. Night fell. The moon was full round, bright, merciless. Zara was led into Jabari's stone house. Its walls thick and cool, its windows open to the ocean breeze. Candles flickered. The air smelled of jasmine and clove. Jabari dismissed the attendants and closed the door gently. "My wife," he said, his voice trembling with joy. "From today, you are never alone again." Zara nodded. She sat on the bed, her hands folded tightly in her lap. Jabari noticed her silence. "Are you afraid?" he asked. She hesitated. "No," she lied. "I am." "Listening." "To what?" She swallowed. "To the sea." Jabari laughed softly and kissed her forehead. "The ocean has no voice tonight, only happiness." But Zara did not sleep. Long after Jabari drifted into rest, Zara lay awake. Then she heard it. Not waves, not wind, a voice calling her name. "Zara." Her chest tightened. The candles flickered violently. The room grew cold. Slowly, carefully, Zara stood. She wrapped herself in a plain cloth, leaving her jewelry behind, leaving her sandals, leaving her marriage bed untouched. She opened the door. The moonlight painted a silver path toward the sea. Barefoot, she followed it. When Jabari woke, the bed was cold. Zara was gone. No footprints remained in the sand. No scream had been heard. Only her bridal veil was found, folded neatly, on a rock, by the ocean. And the sea was unusually calm. The morning sun rose over Kijiji Chabahari like nothing had happened. Fishermen pushed their boats into the water. Children ran along the shore. The ocean glittered a calm, innocent, unbothered. But inside Jabari Mwinyi's house, time had stopped. He stood in the doorway of the bridal room, staring at the empty bed. Zara's side was untouched. The white sheets were smooth, unwrinkled, as though no bride had ever slept there. "Zara," he called. His voice echoed back at him. He stepped outside. That was when he saw the veil. It lay folded on the coral rock, by the water's edge, carefully placed. Not torn, not wet. A farewell, not an accident. Jabari's knees weakened. "No," he whispered. "No." She wouldn't. The alarm spread faster than smoke. By mid-morning, the entire village gathered by the shore. Men with spears searched the mangroves. Fishermen scanned the water. Women wailed, clutching their wrappers. Maybe she ran away, someone whispered. On her wedding night, she was always strange, another muttered. Always watching the sea. Jabari said nothing. His eyes never left the water. The village chief, Zibakari, arrived, his walking stick tapping against the stones. This is not an ordinary disappearance, the old man said gravely. We must speak carefully. The ocean does not steal without reason. Jabari turned sharply. You speak as if the sea is alive. Zibakari met his gaze. On this coast, son, it always has been. Behind closed doors, the women talked. They remembered things. Zara walking into the surf as a child, laughing while waves pulled at her legs. Zara surviving a drowning when other children panicked. Zara humming songs no one taught her, songs that sounded old, foreign, salt-heavy. Her grandmother had warned them once. She does not fully belong to land, the old woman had said. No one listened. By afternoon, Jabari returned to the house. He began searching. Not because he believed Zara was hiding, but because his heart refused to accept emptiness without evidence. In the far back of the house, behind the spice storage, he found something he had never noticed before. A door. Small. Wooden. Sealed with rope. His pulse quickened. He untied it. Inside was a narrow room filled with dust and shadows. The smell of salt hung heavily in the air, though the room had no windows. In the center lay a chest. Jabari opened it. Inside were objects that did not belong to a bride. A necklace made of polished shells and bone. A strip of old blue cloth, faded by water. A bundle of dried seaweed tied with red thread. And a small leather journal. His hands shook as he opened the journal. If anyone finds this, know that I tried to stay. The sea has been calling me since before I could speak. My mother did not die giving birth. She was taken back. I was not meant to marry. I was meant to return. Jabari's breath caught. The words blurred. On the night of the full moon, the debt must be paid. I love Jabari. I love this land. But love cannot break a covenant older than memory. The journal ended there. Jabari collapsed onto the floor. What covenant? He whispered. As dusk approached, the village grew uneasy. Then Fatuma appeared again. This time, no one chased her away. She walked straight toward Jabari, who sat by the shore, his eyes red and hollow. You found the room, she said calmly. Jabari stood up slowly. You knew, he said. You all knew. Fatuma nodded. We hoped the sea would forget. The sea never forgets, Jabari snapped. Fatuma looked out at the horizon. Zara's mother was one of the Watuwa Bahari, the people of the sea. Long ago, they made a pact with humans. One child in a generation would be allowed to live on land. Jabari's chest tightened. And when the moon is full, the sea comes to take back what is hers. Jabari's voice broke. Is she dead? Fatuma shook her head. No, she said softly. She has gone home. That night, Jabari did not sleep. He stood at the water's edge, staring into the dark. If the sea took her, he said aloud, then I will follow. Fatuma's eyes widened. You cannot walk into the ocean and expect mercy. Jabari clenched his fists. I am her husband. By law. By spirit. Fatuma studied him for a long time. Then prepare yourself, she finally said. Because the sea does not test lightly. The moon began to rise again.